guys, Logan here, and welcome to my Mission Impossible series. I'm going to be covering every Mission Impossible film once a week leading up to Mission Impossible Fallout coming out on July 27th. The first review that I will be doing to start off my Mission Impossible series of reviews is going to be for the first Mission Impossible film that came out in May. I believe it came out in May of 1996, the year I was born. This is the first installment of the Mission Impossible franchise. It's a really good start of the franchise because I watched this movie last night for the very first time ever. This is my first viewing of the first Mission Impossible film, and I gotta say, I really have a good time watching it. It's a very good action spy espionage thriller. Where Tom Cruise actually doesn't even use a gun. That's actually a fun fact. This is an action spy espionage thriller that, Tom Cruise / Ethan Hunt never used a gun in this entire film. That's actually a fact. He never shot anyone with a gun. The story was very good. Not very great, but it was very good. Tom Cruise has stood the test of time with this movie. He has proven all the people at the time that this movie was going to come out. A lot of people were like questioning whether or not he should be the right role to play in an action movie, because other roles that he did before this one, he does all the drama and comedy roles that he does, but after this movie came out and the way that Tom Cruise came out with his performance as Ethan Hunt blew everybody away. This is like the start of his whole action stunt work career in action movies, particularly Mission Impossible movies. This was like the start of a brand new career of his in like action stunts that he would do. But yeah, like I said, Tom Cruise, excellent as Ethan Hunt. He's very charismatic, he's very likable, and he's very on the edge whenever something goes wrong. Particularly that one scene where he was like in a telephone booth of some sorts, calling his friend, and then it shows the next scene where he goes to the restaurant where he meets with this man, and then the glass gets broken and there's like water and fish that's spread everywhere while Tom Cruise was like running away. I just love scenes like that. It gives you a suspense. It gives you adrenaline rush. It gives your blood pumping, and that's what I love about the first Mission Impossible film. After watching it for the very first time, it puts you on the edge of your seat. It makes you in a suspense moment. The action, which by the way were very good, and everything about it. There was one intense scene where Tom Cruise was like hanging from a wire, and Gian Reno was like holding on to that wire of some sorts, and Tom Cruise was like trying not to touch the ground because anything that touches the ground detected, and it's gone. And that was a very intense scene inside the whole vault scene. That was one of the most intense scenes I think I've ever seen, period. One of the most intense scenes in an action film ever. When I saw that scene for the very first time, I literally was like gripping my hands on my chair, just grabbing my hands to the arms of my chair. It was that good. It was that good. The film gives you suspense, and I love that. And can I stress enough that Ving Rhames as Luther Stockwell is amazing. He's very fantastic. He's like this he's like this type of guy that you can really see yourselves spending a quality time with, acting like he's your friend, your best friend, or your brother, or whatever the case may be. He just seems like that likable. And I love Ving Rhames. He's very fantastic and very likable, and has a charismatic side to him that I love. Now, do you remember what I said earlier when I said that the plot sometimes got a little too complicated to understand? Well, that's kind of one of my complaints with Mission Impossible. The plot got too complicated to understand at times. You have to pay attention to this entire film. You cannot be distracted by anything that is pulling you away from this movie, because this movie expects you to just pay very close attention 100% of the time. And I had a hard time, I had a bit of a hard time doing that. Rarely do I see or watch films that that beg you to pay very close attention to what it was doing. Now, I have two major complaints with Mission Impossible, and the first one I have with it is that the whole twist that shows Jon Voight being the main villain all along, it was so predictable. There were plenty of things there were plenty of hints earlier on in the film that were just so obvious to where I actually know who the main villain is going to be. Because for the most part, this film doesn't reveal who the main villain is until the ending of the film, where it shows Jon Voight being the main villain. And Jon Voight, he has a very great performance. I really like Jon Voight. He's a very good actor. His character, while fine, his character is not really much to remember by. He's not a bad villain, don't get me wrong. He plays a relatively decent villain. He's just not playing the memorable villain that you can really remember for years to come. That's sort of all my issues with Mission Impossible. However, those are my only complaints with Mission Impossible. Other than that, I had a very good time watching Mission Impossible. The suspense was real, the intensity was real, so many suspense moments were there, and they worked, and Tom Cruise made an excellent performance as Ethan Hunt, a very charismatic and likable performance as Ethan Hunt, very fantastic, as well as most people. Ving Rhames, holy crap, he was awesome. I am going to give Mission Impossible a gold Medal of Honor. So anyway, guys, that is my review for Mission Impossible. My next review in my Mission Impossible series of reviews is going to be for Mission Impossible 2, and it will be up next week, so be on the lookout for that. Also, my review for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom will be up later today, probably tonight, so be on the lookout for that one as well. If you guys enjoyed my review, please click the like button and comment down below to let me know if you have already watched this movie and let me know what you think of it. If you enjoy what you've seen here and you want to see future videos from me, please press up there to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great week, Battle Squad, and as always, fight the good fight.